Class is in session, hitting the books. It's the MLB edition. It's the season premiere MLB edition of Hitting the Books with Ian Cameron and Connor Mack. Monday, March 31st. This is our first of many baseball editions of the show that we will be basically be with you 2-3 days a week on average for the most part. For the rest of the spring and the summer anyway. We'll take you right into probably when college football starts. We'll give you some baseball shows right up till probably June, July, into August. And like I said, 2-3 days a week. We'll be on with you when there's a lot of games at night. The days when there's more day games, we won't be on. But we will be on, 2-3 days a week when there's more night games. We have a big night card here for MLB for this Monday. So I know I'm excited. We're going to bring the Jack of the Day segment back, our favorite home run props. I know that was popular when C-Mac and I did MLB shows back in the day on another platform. So we'll bring back the Jack of the Day, our favorite big plus money home run props. So looking forward to that. C-Mac, it's good to be back in the swing of things, literally. Play ball. Baseball is here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I love kind of slowly getting into it. So if there's a few more passes and not in-depth of these games, it just it'll be there, the dog's eggs. But just I'm trying to just lightly get into baseball, and it's been good so far.
No doubt. And hopefully we have some good bets on the horizon here for this Monday. So without further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin with the New York Mets taking on the Miami Marlins. We've got Peterson versus Quantrill, the matchup here in this one. We've got the Mets minus 190 road favorites, 8.5 being the total here in this game. Peterson is someone that, at times has shown himself to be an effective lefty. If we go back to last year with this Mets team, the question is going to be, how does he fare here to begin this new season? If you look at down the stretch last year, September, he had some decent outings. He actually had some worse outings often at Citi Field, believe it or not. And then on the road, he was okay. We'll see how Cal Quantrill fares here. He's a guy that's been around the block. He was with the Rockies last year. Now finds himself starting with the Miami Marlins. Of course, started his career with the Cleveland Guardians. Quantrill comes into this start. Didn't have the greatest numbers down the stretch last year. See how he's able to fare here in this one. Miami, actually a nice weekend for them, but they did play the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I don't think Pittsburgh looks too good and is not expected to be very good. But Miami did win 3 of 4. You give them credit. The Mets lost 2 of 3 to Houston, but obviously a tough opening series for them. Mets probably win, and I lean to Peterson and the Mets. I don't trust Quantrill, but minus 190 on the road. There's better things out there tonight on the card. C-Mac, what do you think here?
Yeah, there is, I think, better things. I think this is the Marlins here or nothing. That's the only way I could look. Quantrill's been decent this spring, at least the last outing was. And Doc, we can go round and round, just touch on it because we're doing it here early. Some people go off it a ton. I don't, but it's always good, especially pitchers at least, that have looked good in the spring. Peterson, he's looked pretty good as well in his starts. One thing I have to say is last year, so when to get to this, was just kind of like a complete anomaly with him. On the road, he used to be dog shit. Like his ERA is 7 for years, and all of a sudden he was really good on the road last year. What do you have here? 6-1 record, I think.
Yes.
Sub-3 ERA. Just kind of a total flip for him. But like I talked about, he's looked pretty good. When I see these two teams, I don't just see a ton of runs. There's a few games here I like over, but this is one of the unders that I like, and I'd be on the Marlins here, first 5. There's some value.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say as far as I lean the Mets, but I agree with you in that you can't play them at this price. No way at this price.
Do you like this early in the year on the road? And then do you want to delay the run line again? I just don't want, not right now, until like the bats come alive. We start seeing that and that lineup, but not right now.
Exactly. 100% with you there. All right, let's go to some interleague action. Texas Rangers and Cincinnati Reds. We've got the Rangers minus 125 road favorites total here, sitting at 8.5, pretty much across the board in this one. There's a guy that's, I think, a bet on pitcher for me, Kumar Rocker here for the Texas Rangers. He got into 3 September starts down the stretch for Texas last year. He gave up just 6 runs in a total of 12 innings. Pretty solid overall. I think he's going to get probably better and more. They expect a step further in his development this year. Meanwhile, here's Brady Singer, the former Kansas City Royal, now a member of the Cincinnati Reds. And this is a guy that was frustrating at times last year for sure. Up and down he was certainly. Didn't have his greatest year. He finished the season, Brady Singer, last year with the Kansas City Royals, losing his team. The Royals lost each of his last 5 starts down the stretch last year. I actually think Texas is a little cheap here. I think minus 125. And another thing, too, that makes me think Texas is a little cheap, I did bet the Rangers here. The Cincinnati bullpen was a disaster in the weekend against San Francisco. Terrible. So even if they get a decent start out of Brady Singer, and that's not a given by any stretch of the imagination, and Texas is going to know him very well from the days in the division there with Texas and Kansas City. So I think there's an advantage here for Texas. I like Rocker. I think he's a bet-on pitcher. I'll take Texas here as a short road favorite. Not to mention, like I said, I don't mind going up against that Cincinnati bullpen. It was awful bullpen over the weekend against San Francisco. Struggled to get outs, blew big leads for the Reds. Remember, over the weekend, one of the games was a big home run late in the game that gave San Francisco the win against that awful bullpen. So it was a really rough weekend for the Reds bullpen, and that's going to be a concern.
Flores.
Yeah.
3-run bomb?
Flores, that is. Yeah, exactly. Flores is the one that got the big bomb there for the Giants. But, yeah, that bullpen's rough. I like Texas here. I think the price is a little bit short. C-Mac, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, what do we get here? Brady Singer with the Reds, now at home. And what do we get for Rocker? I don't know how – I think he could get hit a little bit. But with his strikeouts, could he get, what's it at, 6, I think? Yep. Not the biggest strikeout prop guy, but I think that might be a decent look. I thought there was some value with the Rangers. I think there's a little value with them. I got to see a little bit more of the Reds. And I want to see more Rocker here on the road. This young kid that's still so dominant a little bit more. But, yeah, I kind of like the Rangers here.
All right, next up, we've got another interleague series. Pirates and not the Lightning. See, I got fucking hockey on the brain. Rays, Tampa Bay Rays there. That's a typo on my part. There we go. Rays minus 190, home favorite, 8 the total here in this game. Keep in mind, Tampa Bay has their home games this year at that little bandbox down in Florida there, Steinbrenner Park. And so the ball carries pretty good there. It's probably a good hitter's park. That being said, don't just blindly bet overs, because I know a few of those games did stay under Tampa Bay over the weekend. That being said, it is a very small dimensions type of park, something you do want to keep in mind. Lodzinski on the mound for Pittsburgh, and Rasmussen going to get the nod here for the Tampa Bay Rays. Rasmussen's one of those guys. He's going to be probably they were careful with his innings down the stretch last year. We'll see if Kevin Cash takes that same strategy here moving forward. Lodzinski here for the Pittsburgh Pirates, mostly a guy that pitched out of their bullpen last year for this team, converting him to a starter, which tells you the state of the rotation right now for this Pittsburgh Pirates team. Not a guy I project for high upside, that is for sure. Not a strong opinion, but I did lay just a small bet here for me. I took Tampa minus 1 full game run line. I think that's not a bad option. Pittsburgh, look, first weekend of the series, you lose. First weekend of the series of the season, you lose, 3 or 4 to Miami? That's not really a good sign. I think the Rays do get the job done here, and obviously you don't want to lay minus 190. So I took Tampa minus 1 on the run line here, which was around minus 130, at least a little bit of a better price there. I think they get the job done. I think Rasmussen can control this kind of weak pot. You just got to make sure you get O'Neal Cruz in check. And if you take care of him, you can take care of this Pirates lineup. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, let's get to the ballpark. There's going to be runs here, but I just kind of wait till it warms up, and like during the summer, and like it's a little bit better weather, especially with these two teams and the way they swing the bat. There's no fucking way. At 8 here, I lean under here pretty strong. I like this under. I know the Pirates, the only thing is with Walensky. I mean, they like to stretch him out, but he's just an opener. In spring he went a couple innings. Can he go? Maybe it would just be 2, I think. I don't know, maybe 3 tops. I don't think he'll go more than that. Rasmussen's the guy I like for the Rays. It's just been solid, when I've backed him to make money. But with this Rays team, I guess at home, do I want to lay this price? No way, especially right now with this lineup that they have.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see much out of it early on just from the first series, and I'm not in love with it either. So, yeah, I like the under in this game. I think Ray's right, but laying 190 with them, there's no way.
All right, next up, we've got the Washington Nationals and the Toronto Blue Jays. We've got Bowden Francis for the Blue Jays. Mike Soroka, blast from the past. Of course, here's a very talented young pitcher, Canadian actually as well. Just so many.
Where in
Atlanta?
Where in Canada?
Alberta. I think he's out west.
Alberta, okay.
Yeah. But now here he is getting a second chance here with the Nationals. The Blue Jays -160, home favorites, 8.5 the total. They projected this guy maybe to be a front of the line rotation starter. One point with Atlanta, but then the injuries just mounted. You're not sure what he's got moving forward. Soroka, of course, he was then moved on to the White Sox, and it was very tumultuous last year, up and down, and he was shut down. He didn't pitch again after May. So this guy's just had so sad because early in his career in Atlanta, he was looking like he was going to be a big-time pitcher, and now you wonder what's left for him. But he is pitching in his home country. He's probably going to be amped up to pitch against the Jays. And he actually pitched okay now, again, these were in the Atlanta years when he was pitching pretty well, but he did pitch well against the Jays when he was with the Braves. Bowden Francis is a guy that come out of nowhere, basically, last year. Went from the bullpen to the starting rotation, and then once he got to the rotation, he almost couldn't hit him for a period of time there. Like, he was just phenomenal for the Blue Jays. 3 runs or less, a strikeout machine as well. We'll see if he can carry it. Was that just a 3-month mirage, or is that something he can carry over into this year for the Blue Jays? That's going to be the big question. This definitely feels like it could be an under. I know the Blue Jays played the first 3 games of their series against Baltimore, went over. The final game finally stayed under. Blue Jays are still up and down at the plate to begin the season. So maybe Soroka, first start of the year, might be able to neutralize them at least a little bit. And then meanwhile, Francis was lights out last year, and I'm not sure the Nationals are going to be doing a ton of damage against him. So this actually could be an under here with these two teams. I think I like the strikeout props in particular for Francis. I think there's a chance he might be able to get over his K prop here tonight. C-Mac, what do you think here, Nats and Blue Jays?
Yeah, as the year went on, that's the more the hype about his stuff, that he started to pitch well and which was the biggest thing for me with Francis was go deeper in games.
Yes.
He
started with a no-hitter and 2 of his starts at least last year down the stretch.
Yeah, and I mean, you start seeing him go 6+, 6-7 consistently. He was looking very good. This Nats team, I think, is going to be scrappy throughout the year. They finally got their first win. I think the lineup's decent. I think in this game, I think they get to Soroka, though. So look to a few of the Jays, or maybe the Jays team total gets there, I think, in this game with the number. But the first baseman, Lowe, he's hitting 4th, 5th in this lineup. He's come out hot. I think it's a good thing. He's got out of Texas. He'll be right in the middle of this lineup. I think he's already has 2 homers. His RBI is huge, it's plus 250. I think his homer's even bigger than that. But I think he's more of a gap type hitter. He's a guy I think hits 20 homers. But I think that RBI with him, I was looking at over plus 250, 255 is a nice number for him there, hitting 4th.
Good stuff. Nice RBI prop opinion there from C-Mac here for this matchup here between the Nationals and the Blue Jays. All right, next up, we've got the Angels and the Cardinals. This is another interleague series here taking place. Tyler Anderson, the lefty, who actually had a very good year, I believe. And there weren't many bright spots for the Angels last year, but Tyler Anderson actually was one of them. He'll take on Miles Michaelis, that old familiar fade. Well, at least for me, he is. St. Louis -160, home favorites, 8 the total here in this game. some things never change. I mean, last year I faded Michaelis at every reasonable opportunity. And I think I'm going to do the same here. I've got a trio of bets here. I've got the Angels money line plus 140 a little bit, Angels team total over a little bit, and I like this full game over as well here, Angels and Cardinals. The reason why I like the full game over too is because I don't fully trust Tyler Anderson to duplicate last year's solid season. I don't. I think there's a regression waiting to happen for him. You know, the Cardinals did swing the bat really well over the weekend in their opening series against the Twins. And boy, do the Twins stink out loud. Holy shit to begin the season. That's another story. But St. Louis did a number on Minnesota Twins pitching over the course of the season or over the course of the weekend. So you're right. The numbers against lefties, not the greatest, St. Louis. That's why, I like the Angels too. And I think Anderson can outpitch Michaelis, but I still worry a little bit about Anderson this year, that he's not going to be nearly as efficient as he was last year. So 3 bets here. I like the Angel bets more, plus 140, and the team total over. I like that full game over, though, a lot, quite a bit. I think the Angels will do a lot of damage. I don't trust Michaelis at all. He had a near 5 ERA last year. I think the Angels should be able to do a little bit of damage. Don't forget, they got Soler in that lineup now. Should help a little, at least some support for a guy like Mike Trout now. So I like the Angels here, live dog, team total as well, full game over 8 as well here in this one. C-Mac, what do you think here, Angels, Cardinals?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest Michaelis fan either. See him too, it's kind of just up and down. When I watch him pitch, I don't love that money on him, especially at this price. And they have this price too. Cardinals come out, sweep the Twins, or 3-0. Like the Angels, I think the bats will get going. I mean, it's just so short. We just started. And they just played the White Sox. There haven't been a ton of runs. Can we get more? And that's especially before Trout gets hurt or Soler's out in the whole, anything. Ward's gone for a while. I worked Tyler Anderson here. I thought he was great last year. He's 10-15 with 3.8 ERA.
Yep.
But the end of the year, he was pretty bad. His last 5 or 6 starts, he got kind of hit around. Yep. I mean, and he's not the youngest spry spring chicken.
That's exactly
here with him, but he's usually good early. Like some of these righties, I think could have a decent look. It's him. I'd look to Contreras. He's one guy that's seen him a bit. I think he's 6 for 22. He's got a homer, a triple, and a double. He does not have a hit. He had a great spring playing first base, and was ripping the ball. And then he's gone. He hasn't done a hit yet. So look to him in the 2-hole against a lefty, which he's always likes lefties way more tonight. Look to his over 1.5 bases or his RBI. I think he can get the job done. And one last one in this game, just because he hits left, he's a home run hitter. It's this guy Baker. He's hit third for the Cardinals. He has hit 34 and 33 jacks in AAA. He's not going to be an average guy, but I think against a lefty like this, he could hit a jack, and his jack's like almost 600 at some places. So look for that today. Lucan Baker, jack in the 3-hole for the Cardinals.
There we go. Home run prop there from Connor Mack here. I like Soler for a home run prop in this game. Like I said, he'd be the one I'd look at.
What's his number?
It was 500 or something close to it last time I looked, but a very good price with Jorge Soler for the Angels. That's the home run prop I bet from this game. I think it's worth a shot for sure. Happy to see the Phillies opening it up right now. I've got Phillies run line against the Rockies. They're up 5-1 now.
Sometimes you just got to wait till the Rockies bullpen.
It'll always come through for you.
Always.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Just never take them full game. I don't get until something starts really changing. It got me, of course, a few times last year, but I won a ton more when I bet them was just first 5.
Yeah. The bullpen's so bad you just cannot ever trust them full game. That is
cannot.
And off to another bad start with the bullpen this year as well. All right, San Francisco, Houston. Astros minus 125, home favorites, 8 the total. There's another interleague series here. Jordan Hicks on the mound for the Giants, Ronel Blanco for the Houston Astros. You look at the numbers for Hicks last year, 4.1 ERA. not bad, but 54 runs, 112 hits and 109 innings. He did get hit pretty hard. 4.1 ERA. He transitioned more to a starting role last year. He's been a bullpen guy before that. I don't fully trust him. Ronel Blanco, I'll say this for him for the Astros, 2.8 ERA last year. Pitched really well for this Astros team. I don't know. This price looks cheap. Houston had a nice weekend. They took 2 or 3 from the Mets. I think they've got the better arm, better starter here. I'll take Blanco over Hicks. I know the Giants won 2 or 3 against Cincinnati. You're not playing Cincinnati's anymore. A second straight road series here for the Giants to open up the series. I just thought this price should have been closer to 40 or 50, not minus 125 here for Houston. So I'm on the Astros here, minus 125. C-Mac, what do you think?
This was a back and forth for me because I see this is cheap here for the Astros. Blanco's fine. I mean, I think he hasn't even pitched since he got hit by a line drive.
Yep.
Maybe longer than 10 days ago. I mean, he seemed fine, I think, from it, but he's ready to go. Hicks, I thought this kid's got some decent stuff, but on the road, it's not maybe where I want to back him here. But I saw a little value maybe with the Giants, but this game was a pass for me in the end.
There's a few of the Giant starters. Logan Webb, their ace, but others too. They're better in that ballpark out there in the Bay Area sometimes than they are on the road. And you're right, Hicks kind of, falls into that just a little bit.
And they used him so weird, like they're back to him starting. Of course, he started early on last year. They sent him to the pen. How much do they have? He didn't look too great in his 3 or 4 spring, action. Did Hicks? I didn't think.
Yeah, that's it's always weird with the spring training stuff. Sometimes the guys pitch bad and then it carries over, and sometimes they're awful in the spring. Then the regular season starts, and they look awesome. They're great.
Of course, because they're working on stuff. Yeah. They're working on pitches, or they're coming back from injury. They're working on stretching out, like going an extra inning or two. Just there's a whole, psychology and everything that goes into spring training, into the regular year. Here.
Basically, everyone is their own. Different situation. You just can't say, they're all going to suck because they sucked in the spring, or they're all going to turn it around. You got to take it pitcher by pitcher, no doubt. All right, we're getting into the later games, the West Coast games, Detroit and Seattle. Seattle minus 120 home favorites, 7 the total in this game. So those of you that are on the Dub Club with me here, you guys know that one of the futures bets for me as far as this year is Jackson Jobe, as far I believe rookie of the year, I believe is what I took for him. As far as
rookie of the year, huh?
I'm and a little on the Cy Young, but I don't think he's going to win it. But I think he's going to. I think he's the real deal. I think he's got the goods for the Detroit Tigers to be a very good pitcher. And I'm going to try to back him early and often this season, starting right here tonight. I know the Tigers got their ass kicked over the week, but look, come on, it's the LA Dodgers. I mean, that's as difficult as it gets. I think that toughens them up. Seattle, I don't trust this lineup worth a shit other than Raleigh and Julio. I think there's a lot of holes. I think there's a lot of strikeouts. I think there's just a lot of outs in general in this Seattle Mariners lineup. I don't trust them. I think they got the better pitcher. I'm not a big Hancock guy. There's nothing that really stands out about how great he is. So this is one of my favorite sides of this card tonight. Detroit first 5, Detroit full game. I'm going to split it up between both of those and ride. And I like Jackson Jobe over strikeouts too. I think he'll rack up the Ks tonight against this free swinging Mariners lineup. C-Mac, what do you think here?
Yeah, I think Jobe could be pretty good here to give him this basically spot to start with this Tigers rotation. I like the Tigers here. And one thing is just I don't trust the Mariners.
No.
At all. I think they'll swing it all right at times.
The Athletics, formerly known as Oakland, the Athletics over the weekend. That was not pretty.
They did. And the bats, cold. I can tell maybe they get hot, and they will a few times during the year. But, and they have some guys that can swing the bat. I don't know. I just no trust for me, really, in this Mariners, especially how they're going to be priced. And look how they were against the A's. And the last couple, I was on their unders. I don't trust them. So I think the Tigers, after kind of getting their ass kicked. But, I mean, Green, Torkelson, Carpenter, if he can play almost a fully, that guy's got great jack and gap power. Rogers behind the plate. So, yeah, Tigers here, first 5.
All right, we're in agreement. All right, Cleveland and San Diego. Padres -135, home favorites, 8 the total. They just beat the living shit out of the Atlanta Braves. Now, that's either the Padres are really good or the Braves were really bad. I think it's probably a combination of both, but I was shocked.
Yeah, a little both.
San Diego just dismantled Atlanta in that series. And but credit to them. I mean, they got the offense. The pitching was very good. Top to bottom, they got good starts from Michael King, Dylan Cease, even Randy Vasquez and fucking Pivetta, putting up goose eggs against that Atlanta lineup, which is shameful, in my opinion, for the Braves. But that's another. But credit to the Padres and credit to their starters. And again, the lineup was solid. Great 4-0 start, winning every game in that series. Cleveland, they won 2 of 3 versus Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium to begin the season. Luis Ortiz is going to get the start. For them here. It's a guy that comes over from the Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll see how he didn't actually pitch that bad in Pittsburgh. We'll see how he fares here. Kyle Hart is going to get the nod here for the San Diego Padres in this situation. He has not started in 5 years. This is a guy that's been kind of back and forth all over the map. So it's kind of a spot start. I don't think he's going to be a long-term piece of this rotation. We always know the Guardians against lefties a little shaky at times. So this is an interesting game, but I didn't bet this game. I didn't. I mean, I don't trust Hart, but I'm not stepping in front of the Padres. They've looked really good. And so I lean Padres. I just don't know if I want to back their pitcher enough. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, they definitely looked good. And Braves looked horrible. We'll get to them in a second, especially the last 2 games. I got to think they score some runs tonight, but we will see off glass now. Yeah, what do we get here from Kyle Hart? I think the line's right. Maybe there's a little bit of value here with Cleveland. Of course, Ramirez I like. Always guy who eats lefties, but I don't know how long Hart's going to be in. Of course, Lane Thomas, the guy in the 3-hole, always back versus lefties. Kills them. Just write that down there. So maybe first 5. The Guardians have kind of leaned in their way, catch a little plus money here early.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm certainly, and I'm a little leery with Hart, what we're going to get from him. You might be able to get there with Cleveland, maybe first 5. Luis Ortiz, like I said, he wasn't that terrible last year with a bad team.
He has his problems too, though.
Yes. No doubt. That's why I'm staying away. Too many issues back and forth there. This game I like. Cubs and the Athletics. We're just calling them the Athletics now, apparently. No Oakland, and I know they're playing in Sacramento, but
that's smart. Just call them the Athletics.
Because they're only in Sacramento till the fucking new stadium is ready to go in Las Vegas. I mean, so that's where it is. They'll be called the Las Vegas Athletics, I'm sure, when they go to Vegas. Just call them the Athletics for now. So Cubs -140. Favorites here, road favorites, 8.5 the total. This screams over to me. Cubs can hit. Cubs pitching, I don't try, and I don't trust their starter tonight either. Here in this game, for the Brown, Ben Brown. Yeah, he's a guy that's his numbers were mediocre last year. Meanwhile, the Athletics, you're talking about Joey Estes, who again, look at his numbers last year, primarily in a relief role for the Athletics, and they gave him some starts and up and down. He's given up at least 3 runs in his last 5 starts. A lot of them were 4, 5, and 6. And then top it off with 2 bullpens that I don't fully trust, especially this Cubs bullpen. They were absolutely dreadful in the series against Arizona. Dreadful, the Cubs bullpen. So you got 2 starters I don't trust. The Cubs lineup I like. Oakland, the Athletics lineup is not great, but Brown is someone I think they could hit, and the bullpen stinks for the Cubs, so maybe the Athletics can score off them. And I think they can get over this total. Now, interesting, this is going to be the first game in the Sacramento home ballpark. And from what I'm seeing, it's definitely more hitter friendly than the old Oakland Coliseum, the old Alameda Coliseum. There's no question about that. Yeah. This park is definitely going to favor hitters way more than it did for pitchers when it was at the old Coliseum. So I like this over. It was 8. I got it. It went up to 8.5. I still like it at the current number. C-Mac, what do you think here? Cubs, A's.
I think so. I know it's not, the best weather. It's a little chilly there, but the wind's blowing out in that park. Pretty solid, over 10 to 15. And yeah, we don't have the two best pitchers here with Brown and Joey Estes. When Estes is going though, some of his starts a little bit down the stretch were great. Because I like early on, I thought he was a fade, but when he could get rolling, so it's been hard for me to figure him out a little bit last year when that was happening. And when I'd see him, even here in Vegas, before he came up, he had like some electric stuff, but he could get tagged, especially when he first came up to the big leagues. But yeah, if you like runs, Rooker, of course, look in this game. Tucker, Swanson has some good numbers. I think he's got a jack off Estes, so look at them. Horner. Also, this Cubs lineup's not bad. I backed him.
I'm on the
day, first
Tucker
five.
prop. I like Tucker to get a jack here in this one for the Cubs. I think it's a good matchup.
Yeah, didn't he go yard yesterday?
I believe it was yesterday or Saturday, but he did get one, at least one, I know, over the weekend. But yeah, Kyle Tucker is the home run prop I like here in this one for sure for the Chicago Cubs. All right, next up, final game here of this Friday slate. The Atlanta Braves. If you thought the Atlanta Braves performance was against San Diego was bad, now they've got to try to get it done against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Not going to be an easy feat. Dodgers minus 240, home favorites here, 8 the total at Dodger Stadium for this one. I made the critical mistake, and sometimes I get in trouble doing this. They lost the first 2 to San Diego. Oh, but they've got Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound. This is their spot to bounce back. And I took Atlanta against San Diego when Schwellenbach pitched, and they couldn't hit a lick. It didn't matter what Schwellenbach did, and he didn't pitch that bad. They couldn't hit a lick. They got shut out. And I said, well, are they really going to get swept 4 straight? And I took them again last night like an idiot. And I didn't love Pavetta. That's why I also took Atlanta, and they didn't even score a run, and they got shut out. I'm done. Finished with Atlanta for now. Show me you can win a baseball game. Show me you can hit worth a damn before I back you again. There's no chance I'm taking Atlanta here tonight until I see that. That's how bad, that's how pathetic it was for them over the weekend against the Padres. Grant Holmes, I'm not rushing to back him. Tyler Glasnow, yeah, he can give up the home run ball, but you look at down the stretch there with the Dodgers before his injury. I mean, he's certainly going to be fired up to make this start here. Returning from that injury suffered last year. And before the injury, he gave up 2-3-3-2s, pitching pretty well. And it's not like the Braves are hitting anything right now. So hard to step in front of the Dodgers. All they do is they find ways to win. The lineup is lethal. The bullpen's good. They're never out of a game. How many times have we seen them trailing in that Detroit series and they came back and they won? So if I were to bet it, I would say Dodgers team total over 4.5. You know, that's always live when they play with that offense or the run line. I mean, a lot of their wins are going to be two runs or more margin this year. And all but one of their wins so far this year, they've won by 2 runs or more. So probably some kind of Dodgers team total over or Dodgers run line. I would lean in that direction. I can't back Atlanta until I see some kind of life from this lineup. C-Mac, what do you think?
I know. Is this the spot too? I mean, I think they're going to score some runs. Is it today though? I mean, after getting shut out, teams that get shut out, back-to-back days with nothing, I think they could get a few runs here. This is weird. This game.
What I don't like, C-Mac, is this is also that Sunday night baseball betting angle that's usually bad when you play Sunday night baseball and you play the next day with travel, no day off.
Yeah, quick travel though. This one though, just up the road. But yeah.
Yep.
Not too bad, just an hour and a half up the road, 2 hours. So I feel like the over. There's a lot under love. I mean, the Braves don't score again in this game because you think the wind's blowing out here, like we just talked about there. It's blowing out like to right center, 15 miles an hour. I thought that the first 3 days too, we're getting great prices. I think it's still solid because they're just going to be 5.5 the team total with the Dodgers. It's 4.5, and you can get right at 120 or below. That's right. I'm trying to find the best number. I think they get to Grant Holmes. He's a perfect fucking righty to get ripped by this Dodger lineup. And he talks about them just being down. They could come back and get whatever they want. It's just, can the Braves score? Because I kind of like the over in this game at 8. But I think you just stick to the Dodgers.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think you just stick to the Dodgers because I think they get to Grant Holmes. Maybe the Braves can get to Glasnow. He's looked pretty, good in the few starts that he's had. He looked good against the Angels. It wasn't much. I think Ward hit a solo bomb in the last start. I caught a little bit of it in his last tune-up start. So, and yeah, it's tough. Like the Dodgers, like I look to Ohtani. How do you not? It's for like pick your poison here.
Any of those guys, essentially, it's all the right-handed pitcher is usually a benefit for all these guys. Ohtani, Betts, go on down the list. I mean,
down the line, even Hernandez.
Yeah,
I was looking at Hernandez. As long as he's getting 500, but anyways, the value's still there, even at minus 120 or below 4.5, because they're just going to get crazy. The Dodgers are going to start being minus 350. Just the numbers are going to be crazy, and even the team total
5.5 before you know.
Yes,
it will happen. Yeah,
we saw it last year. They could just score too many runs. So yeah, I think Dodgers get there. The team total. Just keep going back to it all, phones.
I agree. I think that is the best way to bet it, is Dodgers team total over 4.5. Shout out to the chat. Good stuff. All right. Jack of the day for the first time this season. One home run prop, your favorite home run props. C-Mac, we'll start with you. Jack of the day. What are you liking the most?
Shit. The one I like the most. Go ahead, take it away. All right, here. Teoscar Hernandez. Just gave it to you. Plus 520. Jack of the day. I gave you those others. Yes. I have Contreras. I already talked about that. And then a little bit on Baker, because it's a crazy number in that game. And Nate Lowe, RBI.
All right, I'm going to give you two as well. Two Jack of the day, two home run props. Probably the two that I like the most. He knows Brady Singer very well. He's done damage against Singer. And I think he goes yard tonight, potentially for the Texas Rangers. Corey Seager. I like Corey Seager here tonight for the Texas Rangers, plus 375. And the other one is the one,
Tucker?
Yep, the other one I already mentioned. Yes, Kyle Tucker, Chicago Cubs, plus 375 in that brand new ballpark, but first ball night there with the in Sacramento. And I think Kyle Tucker has a chance to leave the yard as well. So there you go. Both of them are plus 375, by the way. Kyle Tucker for the Cubs and Corey Seager for the Texas Rangers. All right, best bets to wrap up the show. C-Mac, what do you got for best bet?
Shout out to the chat. I like it, Nick. I like Jackson Merrill. I think that's a great look. Ari looked good. Ricky, my man. Old D, good. Shout out to everyone here. Spoons Bets. What's up, my dude? Hit the like button on the way out. That's all we ask for. So what should I like a couple of these overs? Give me this under here. Mets, Marlins, under 8.5.
There you go. Mets, Marlins, under 8.5. Best bet for C-Mac. My best bet for this Monday night slate, I'm going Detroit. I'll go full game. Full game price is a little bit better than the first five, so I'll just go full game. I'll have faith in the. I know the Tigers bullpen had a couple of rough moments against the Dodgers over the weekend, but you're not facing the Dodgers lineup anymore. That's still a good bullpen. They just ran up against a really incredible, lethal 1 through 9 lineup like the Dodgers. So I'll go with Detroit full game. Plus 104, Detroit Tigers. They get it done against the Seattle Mariners. Jackson Jobe, remember the name. He's going to have a good season, I think, for the Tigers. So Detroit plus 104 for my best bet for this Monday. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Nick Alvento, Robert Carlson, Ricky Levine, Jorge Herrera, Tim York, even some people that I tune into the Ice Guys show appearing in the chat. Love to see it. Timothy Hake, Spoons Bets. Goryan Ninkovsky, appreciate everybody joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. We're going to be here tomorrow and Friday. 2 more shows this week at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Wednesday, Thursday, there's very few night games. Most of the games are during the day, so we won't be on Wednesday or Thursday, but we will be with you again tomorrow. Huge night card tomorrow on Tuesday in MLB, and then again on Friday at this time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. And that's going to be the general pattern moving forward with 2 or 3 MLB shows per week right here with the MLB Hitting the Books show. Shout out to everyone in the chat. And we will do a Final Four show Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, we won't leave you hanging. We'll get you ready for the Final Four on Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific. Florida, Auburn, Duke and Houston. Looking forward to those 2 games, no doubt. Shout out to everyone in the chat. hit the like button on the way out. For Connor, Mac, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll be back tomorrow on Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, for another edition of the MLB Hitting the Books show right here. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.